So there's a few other products here along the way that we could use. Obviously, we did, in fact, use RAM Concept. RAM Concept can be used standalone as well, though. It does not need to be run from RAM Structural System. Also, if we had any steel connections, if we had a steel structure, we could design the connections using RAM Connection here. We're not doing that in this case, but we're just highlighting some other things that could be done in this workflow here. And then StatX, the STAD product line. We are doing a building structure, which is a little more suited for RAM Structural System, but there's things that STAD can do in the advanced analysis realm that RAM can't. It could do time history analysis, geometric imperfection analysis, viscous damping, time varying loads, etc. If we had things that were above and beyond the capability of RAM Structural System, again, we could utilize ISM and read this model into StatX and perform those tasks, that further analysis and design here. Okay. STAD Pro is ISM compliant as well. I've included StatX here because as a building structure, StatX has a stronger concept of a physical model than STAD Pro does. So it might be a little better suited for the building structure. And now I'm going to perform a very key step in this process, and that is I'm going to now update the AECOsim model with this reinforcing that we just added to the ISM model. And the way this plays out is I simply go to my Update From options in AECOsim, and I simply accept these changes. And again, just as we did before, we see a before and after view here. I'm just going to hit Update, and now the AECOsim project itself is updated with this rebar. And in AECOsim, we use that bar to create general arrangement drawings. And we're going to see a couple samples here. I've created a drawing and placed it on a sheet of the second level plan. And that now includes the bar callouts, the slab bar there. And I'm also going to show a concrete column schedule, which can be produced in AECOsim as well. And again, it's using the design information, the design that we produced in RAM Structural System. Okay. So now at this point, we may very well likely have fulfilled our contract obligations as structural engineers because we've produced general arrangement drawings. But we can certainly go further if we want. Add more value to the project. Okay? It may even be the case that we're looking for new ways to expand our business, provide more services, and one way we could do that is to take the reinforcing, the structural design into the actual detailing, fabrication level realm. And we can do that with Pro Structures. Pro Structures is a steel and concrete detailing application. You produce fabrication level drawings and bills of material and detailed schedules and concrete documentation. And let's see how the process plays out here. Let's read this ISM model, now that it has reinforcing, into Pro Structures. The same way we did in AECOsim, we're just going to go to the left-hand side there and use the ISM Create Model option. And I'm going to select the ISM repository. Okay, and there's the structure read in. We see the reinforcing much the way we did in the ISM model. The difference now is that we can actually edit this rebar. Okay, the ISM model was view only, read only. But here we can actually change the reinforcing. So what RAM did was it designed the reinforcing to fulfill structural code requirements. Okay, and it only took it so far. It provided a bar size, bar conditions that it felt suited as meeting code requirement. Here we can actually detail it to the level that is needed for actual the final placement of the reinforcing. And just as an example here, I'm going to edit some of the stirrups here on this beam. They're currently U stirrups. I'm going to go ahead and put a 135-degree hook condition on them. And I'll change the view a little bit here so it's a little easier to make this out. Go go to the transparent mode. And here's a case, ironically, where the value that's provided, examples of value that's added, is that these stirrups aren't actually going to work. They clash with one another, and that's something we generally wouldn't be able to see so easily if we were strictly in the 2D realm. You could also produce, as I mentioned before, fabrication level drawings within ProStructures. Now, an even further step of added value, and that is that with what we've created here, we can produce mobile formats, so that the work that we've done can actually be viewed in the field on a mobile device. And within the ISM modeler, the ISM viewer, there's an option to export that model to iPad or iPhone format, and that's what I'm going to do here. A couple different options. We can save it to disk, we can attach it to an email and send it, or we can upload it to Amazon Cloud as well. So I could just mail this to another member on the project team to show them my progress up to this point. I can also publish an iModel if I wanted to. There's an increasing line of thought that mobile technology is in our future. It is the future. The way we'll operate as engineers and project team members and collaborate in the future, and that's certainly possible already within the Bentley family of products. Okay, so we've gone through the whole process now. We've taken what the architect has given us as a starting point. We've done an initial assessment of the structure. We've done the detailed analysis and design. We've updated the AECOsim project with our progress and produced general arrangement drawings. We've even gone to the level of detailing the structure. And further, we've produced mobile formats so that what we've produced can be viewed on mobile devices. And our last step here is to actually get the architect our progress. And what we're going to do is simply go back into ProjectWise, and I'm just going to upload my updated files back into the structural folder. Here's the mobile ISM model, and I can also update the architect's version of the design model structural concrete option with the progress we've done. And he can set up his environment so that when I make that change, when I upload that file there, he'll be notified of it. So that completes the loop. We've done the full cycle here, and of course we can repeat this as many times as we need to. So this is an overview of the process. And one of the things you might be thinking is, well, I have my own way of working. So what would you say are the benefits of this process that you've laid out? Well, there's 4 that really come to mind, that really stand out. And the first is that each team member in this process always has access to the most current state of the project. All the products are synchronized using the same design data through the central structural synchronizer model. And if you compare that to how a lot of engineering firms still work, where work is being done and unbeknownst to the respective structural designer, the architect is proposing changes to the project manager, and they don't know it yet, but the work they're doing is now obsolete. That eliminates to a large degree that problem, because each team member always has access to the most current state of the project. The second item which follows from this is that a complete history of the project can be reviewed at any time. There's a trail made. Who made the change when and in what application? And further, you can always roll back to an earlier state of the project if you need to. Third, the entire process, all the way from inception to final deliverables, is supported within one family of products, the Bentley family of products. And we think that's very key. We're certainly not requiring that you work entirely within Bentley products, and that is certainly visible through interoperability with vendor-neutral formats such as IFC. But you certainly have that option to work entirely within the Bentley realm. And finally, what we have produced as structural engineers in this process has value beyond the structural engineering of the building. Our work is now used by other disciplines, the mechanical, electrical, architectural teams, that can take now what we've done, and that now has value to the rest of the team members. So this is the entire process. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you.
This tutorial is the second part of a two-part tutorial